Hey guys, ZombieX, Austin. I know I just finished recording another video and uploading it. It's my site on what's going on with the Rich from Review Tech USA. But I figured since I got the camera out, I haven't done videos in a while, I was going to do something different. Typically, my channel is headphone stuff, but I want to branch out now to video games. I am a gamer, not as much as I used to be. I used to play tons of PlayStation 3 when I first got it. I remember when I got the PS3, the first game I got was Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I remember going to GameStop and they're like, oh, yeah, line kind of sucks, yeah, man. But it's like, that's what got me hooked on the PlayStation brand. And before that I had the PS1 and the PS2, but I really liked the PS3. And sorry I'm out of breath, I was just kind of running around, but what I'm going to talk about in this video, and there's been tons of videos online about it already, was the Dualshock 4 here. I'm sure you guys have already seen all the videos online. Go out to GameStop. You could buy these. The GameStop I went to had the Dualshock 3s in. They had their PlayStation 4 demo unit in, so I got to see that. They had it all set up. It's in the Milwaukee area. It's in the River Works Commons. I forget the exact address, but it's off of like East Capitol Street, Avenue. I don't know. But they have it there. They have it all set up. No Xbox One stuff yet, but they got like 200 of these things in. Because I asked them, and they said they got like a whole buttload of them in. They got the eye in already. They have a good chunk of the games in, from what I understand. But I'm going to talk about this, how it evolved. Now, I don't have a PS1 controller to compare it to, at least not in here. In the other room, in my gaming room, I do. I have the original PS1 controller. I have the DualShock PS1. I have the dual analog. And I have the Net Rose PS1 controller, which is just a black PlayStation 1 controller. So I didn't grab those. I could probably grab it and do another video later. But this thing is actually a pretty good improvement over the DualShock 3 in my opinion. Now this isn't my original DualShock 3. This is one that I got, or I mean, it's not my original. My original one came with the PS3. Or no, I bought the original one second. My original PS3 came with the 6-axis, which was like their non-DualShock one when they first came out. But I remember when DualShock came out, at least the third one, it was like $50. I remember it was like, actually it wasn't even flying off the shelves when it first came out, it was just like there. Let me adjust this camera. Maybe a little off-center, I apologize if it is. But I've always been a fan of the PlayStation controller design, but holding the DualShock 3 in your hand, and then holding, like switching over to the DualShock 4, it's like your hands feel way more freed up. And I like the new triggers a lot on here. They have a lip on them. You can see with mine, I got these little add-ons that add the triggers. But normally it's it just swoops back. Which I never had issues with them to begin with. It didn't really bother me. But having this is a big improvement in my opinion. But I've been playing with this controller for a bit on the PC. I've been using it with the PlayStation 1 emulator, PSX 1.4 work in progress. And I've been playing it with Resident Evil 1.5 and Resident Evil 2 the Magic Zombie Door build that was made by Team Aegis. I'm going to put a link for them in the description. They're restoring Resident Evil 1.5. More info on that later. But so far, I'm really liking it. The one thing I might say is a downside is that it no longer has the analog face buttons, which is just it just senses pressure. But then again, there wasn't a lot of PS3 games that used it. Even like there wasn't a lot of PS2 games that used it either, from my memory, at least from what I have in my collection. So it's not a big loss. Sorry, I'm breathing really heavy. I'm like I have a hard time breathing right now, so I'm going to be breathing a little bit heavy in this video. But I do like the new triggers a lot. And they're springy, like the Dualshock 3s, not mushy, they got a spring to them, but I think it's because they curve down that you don't really get it as much. It feels more like your fingers sliding off. But with these, it kind of hugs your fingers more. And I do like the L1 and R1 buttons now. Like, they still click. They feel really good. Like the DualShock 3s at least, they are pretty, not mushy, but it's not a solid click. It just kind of feels like you're pushing a loose button around. With this, it's pretty good click. Then the D-pad. D-pad's an improvement, I think, but really there's nothing wrong with the DualShock 3's D-pad. Pretty accurate. Analog sticks, I think they're good. The only thing I don't really like is how they have more resistance, honestly. Like my PS3 sticks, or at least DualShock 3's, are super loose, which I like because that made it really precise for like Battlefield 3 for me. Like, I mean, you could probably see they're pretty loose, and they're not worn down or anything. They're just looser on this one. And this feels more like, kind of like an Xbox 360 stick. And I have the wired controller here because I use it when I play games on the computer once in a while. Or even kind of like the Wii U Pro controller. Yes, I do have all the systems right now. And I barely play them to begin with. But I guess it's the Wii U one doesn't have as much resistance, so it's definitely more like a 360's, but not quite as stiff, which I think is fine. I don't like the 360 sticks sometimes because they can feel kind of stiff to me. The PS4s are pretty good. They're not too stiff, but they're like not loose and flopping around like the original DualShock was for the PS1. But, I mean, there's not a whole lot I can give you impressions on with this thing, because, I mean, touchpad doesn't work. You can't use it wirelessly yet, so I can't say what the battery life is. I guess the only plus is that, too, like you can, or not the only plus, but a plus is that you can use it on the PS3 as well with a USB cable. And you're going to need, what was it, a micro or a mini? But I got this one on Amazon. It was $6. It was made by Media Bridge, I think it was, and I got a 10-foot because either like I'm sitting on my my bed, or there's a futon in the back of the room that I'll fold up and I'll just sit back. That's good for if I need to charge it all that way back there. But when you buy this, it doesn't come with a cable, so that's. Let me turn that off. That's the one thing you're going to have to look out for, is it doesn't come with the charging cable when you buy the controller. But if you have a cell phone, a lot of them use that. I know my Galaxy S3, that's what I'm recording this with, does come with the same type of cable. You can use it, and it's about like a 3-foot cable. So, I mean, it's pretty short, but my bed's only like a few feet away from the TV, so I could just kind of drag it over to it and just lay back in bed in game if I wanted to. So that's something you're going to have to think about down the road, is maybe a longer cable. But when you use this on the PS3, the PS button doesn't work. Touchpad doesn't work. Of course, the click you can't use for anything really. But they did map the select and start buttons to share and options, which I really like. And I've been playing some Call of Duty with this. And I have to say, I think it's an improvement, but I don't know. Like, I have some doubts, like, playing on the PS3, because I don't know if it's functioning the same way it's supposed to work on a PS4. Like, I would think that PS4 games are designed right around the way the sticks are, like, with the dead zones in that. So, my final judgment with that is I'm going to have to wait till later on, so after I get my PS4 later this month, or next month, I mean. But that's just I guess what I feel about it right now. Getting back to like comfort, I know I already covered that, but I really do like how you actually like have a grip on it. Before the Dualshock 3, when you hold it, it's kind of like, I never felt cramped, but you feel small, like you're kind of like hugging it. And with the 360s, you have more of a grip there, which is better. And the Wii U gamepad, it's kind of like, it feels kind of like a 360s. And I like the Wii U gamepad a lot. It's super light, long battery life, decent rumble. The only drawback to that is that it doesn't have analog triggers. It's just digital. So it's like you're playing like Super Nintendo triggers up there. And yeah, I am a gamer. Like, I have like all the old systems, or at least most of them. Probably have about 40 or 50 video game systems in total. That's another video. If you guys want to see that one, let me know. I'll lay out all my systems. I have some rare ones in there too. I have a Detail H1001 PS1. That's the Blue Debug model, and a Net Eurose PS1 as well. But that's not the point of that, or this video. It's the controllers. It's, like between the DualShock 4 and the Wii U gamepad, I think DualShock 4 is better right now, but like I say, I can't give you full judgment until I play it on the PS4, so that's really about all I could comment with in this video. Just a little bit of the feel for it. I think it's a really nice feeling. Super comfortable. Triggers feel really nice. Responsive. I like how they actually feel like you're pulling a trigger on a gun. But that's really all I'm going to talk about. I hope it gave you a little bit more info about it. Well guys, that's about it. Until next time, Austin out.